Google Trends error, easily prevented. There is no technical reason for it, which means it's intentional, or you could claim a conspiracy, or you could claim that they're incompetent. Never blame conspiracy when incompetence is sitting there going, "Hi." The people running Google Trends made it to where some browsers, read any browser they don't like, have a problem that shouldn't exist. The URL encoding, redirect, reload, infinite loop, swapping the space for a plus sign, or URI percent encoded number 20 fix. This is a common enough problem that there is no excuse for this. There is no technical reason for this to happen. On many websites, there is a way of displaying information that will always work best. Best practices. Now, the best practices are that you use all printable characters on the website. When people input information, you have to make sure that you can pass that information they've typed to the website, the server, or to whatever they're using in such a way that it cannot be mistaken for something else. Now, here comes the problem. Let's say I write an operating system or a website or whatever that's supposed to do 1 plus 1. Okay. And it's supposed to, give out the number 2. But when you hit 1 plus 1 and hit enter, the website will then put in, let's say, waptec.com/query/math equals 1 plus 1. Because it actually works so mathematically. It means that I'm spitting it back at the math equation. 1 plus 1. But what if I'm telling it 1 space 1? One of the allowed re-encodings for space, because it's not supposed to have a space in the URL for best practices, is to convert it to a plus sign. I could have put in a series like 10, 15, 20, 45, 63, and then put a dash or an equal sign, and then or operator function saying take all these numbers and find the mean or the average or multiply them all or divide them or find whatever, find the standard distribution. You can put a whole string of numbers in and then an operator. How is it supposed to pass that to the utility of the website to do it? Does it put plus signs between them, which means it would look like an addition and subtraction thing? Should it put a comma between them? But comma separated values, CSVs, may not work. This becomes a computational problem. So now we're going to go back to Google Trends. You type in words and numbers. Okay, but some of the words and numbers and symbols, specifically like plus sign, minus, divide, subtract, they have another meaning to them. They could be used for mathematics. I could type in on Google Trends 2 plus 2 equals 5 because that's a meme on the internet. How does it encapsulate that? It might put quotes around the whole thing and make it a protected set. But what if I put it in 1 plus 1 equals 5 as words? There's spaces between them. Does it use a plus sign between them or does it retain the space? It's between the quotes, so some websites will say, okay, cool. The thing is, inside of it, there's the ability of it to interpret a space as being enter. So it looks like I'm typing in a bunch of information afterwards with enter between them. That's a whole other can of worms I've covered. Now, I've already covered the problem here for 4 minutes. Let me give you the answer. On Google Trends website, in the URL at the top of the page, you can type in A, B with a space between them. The instant you do that, the web browser, in most cases, will re-encode it silently, which means it's not really showing you what it's really doing, as being %20, which is the escape sequence or the URI or percent escaped or percent encoded version of space. The exploration of %20 is a joke, by the way. It could also convert it to a plus sign. What happened is on Google Trends' main website, it tries to make it one term plus the other term, which is what it uses everywhere else. And then it converts it to space the literal space function rather than %20. It's a defect in the website, but it only seems to affect browsers that the company Google isn't selling or isn't marketing or isn't trying to promote. They're desperately trying to get rid of Firefox. So it always shows this error. Now, what does it do? It goes into a loop where you see the top of the screen in the address bar, if you enabled your address bar, which you should, and it shows ampersand Q equals query equals the 2 words, or whatever number of words. And then it puts a space between them, and then it puts in a plus sign. It never switches over to %20, which would cause it to stop. So, at the 5-minute and 40-second mark, the way you solve this is that you have to go up to the URL to type in all your queries the way I'm giving it to you by putting in %20 or putting in literally a spacebar function. If your browser is doing this, it's not the browser, it's the website deliberately crapping out. It's playing dead. It's faking an error. And of course the argument comes out, well, you need to get a newer copy of Firefox. And then a couple of months later, they'll do something else to make sure Firefox doesn't load. I'm using the oldest version. I'm not kidding. The oldest version of Google Chrome I could find. And it's a portable version. It's not even a full copy. It's just meant to where I can bully it around and turn off its ability to share information without asking. I'm trying to turn off its ability to track me. It's an experiment. I'm going to put up some results today. But the point is, it's made for Windows XP. Okay, how old does a browser have to be that's by Google to prove that it's not the age of your fucking browser? It's the Google Chrome version for Windows XP, and it works fine. It doesn't have this issue. It only does this on supposedly outdated versions of someone else's browser. Now, it could be that it's not handling it correctly. Firefox could be doing that, but I can't find anybody explaining that. And it has to do with URL and URI conversion. And I'm sure that is a feature within Firefox. But bog standard Firefox doing this? It could also be some plugin I have. Nope, checked. I'll try it again. But the point is, if you're running into an infinite loop on Google Trends or any website, and you have something you're doing on the website that involves the space function, change it to %20 and see if that fixes it. That's all I can give you. Hope this was useful, and if it wasn't, I'm sorry. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck.